can still see a ladder up here on top of this wall, and you can see where the wire is completely...
The U.S.-Mexico border is a theater of tension and surreal imagery. Migrants desperate to reach American soil have been caught scaling the border wall even as construction crews hammer away at new sections. These shocking scenes, unfolding amid a militarized crackdown under President Donald Trump's second term, reveal a collision of human desperation and unyielding policy. With spiked wire, troops, and a Navy destroyer already in play, the wall's ongoing build-out has become a literal and symbolic battleground. Here's the latest on these dramatic encounters, what's driving them, and what they mean for America's border saga. Picture this: a half-finished wall in Arizona's San Luis sector, steel beams rising under the desert sun, and a group of migrants clambering over it, ropes and ladders in hand. On March 19th, Border Patrol cameras captured 5 men from Guatemala scaling a 30-foot section still under construction, per a USA Today report. Agents swooped in, detaining them within minutes, but not before footage spread online. Ex-posts erupted with reactions, some decrying the chaos, others marveling at the audacity. A similar scene unfolded in San Diego on March 22nd, where 10 News filmed 3 migrants atop a wall segment as welders worked below, razor wire glinting nearby. These aren't isolated stunts. The Washington Post noted on March 20th that 7 new miles of wall rose in Arizona this month, part of Trump's push to seal the border. Yet, gaps remain, and construction zones are prime targets. Newsweek's November 2024 piece on wall breaches resurfaced, recalling YouTube clips of ladder climbs and bolt-cutter break-ins. Now, with troops and wire in place, the stakes are higher, but the attempts persist. Border Patrol's San Diego Sector Chief Jeffrey Stalnaker told 10 News on March 22nd, "They're exploiting every weak point, even mid-build." The timing's wild. Illegal crossings have tanked, with February apprehensions at 8,300, down from 47,000 in December 2024, per Axios on March 20th. Trump's policies, like axing CBP-1 and reviving Title 42, plus Mexico's tariff-fueled crackdown, have slashed migrant flows, per Reuters on March 23rd. Shelters in Juarez are nearly empty, per the New York Times on March 16th. So why climb a wall under construction, with soldiers and drones watching? Desperation's the answer. For some, it's a race against Trump's escalating measures. Deportations hit 37,660 in his first month, per Reuters on March 23rd, and the USS Gravely patrols the Gulf, per Military.com on March 17th. Legal paths are gone, and sea routes are dicey. Carlos Porras, a Peruvian caught climbing on January 21st, told the New York Times through wall slats, "We do this out of need, not because we want to." Others, per CNN on January 9th, aimed to beat Trump's inauguration, only to find the border tighter than ever. Now, construction zones offer a fleeting chance before the wall's complete. This isn't the static barrier of old. In San Diego, concertina wire with flesh-tearing barbs tops and lines the base, per 10 News on March 22nd. Arizona's new sections, per the Washington Post on March 20th, rise under the 10th Mountain Division's watch, part of 10,000 troops deployed, per Stars and Stripes on March 10th. Spikes and soldiers make climbing a bloody gamble, yet migrants try. Stalnaker told 10 News, "The wire slows them, but some still get through, cut up or not." Construction's relentless. Trump's January 20th order resumed wall building halted by Biden, per NPR on January 20th. 7 miles in Arizona joined 458 miles from his first term, per DHS stats on X on March 17th. A 60-foot militarized buffer zone is in the works, per the Washington Post on March 19th, turning gaps into no man's land. Yet, as Newsweek noted in November 2024, a 30-foot wall isn't unclimbable with gear. Migrants adapt, using ropes or cutting tools, per USA Today's March 19th footage, even as crews weld on. These climbs are brutal. The Guatemalans caught on March 19th bore gashes from wire, per USA Today, and San Diego's trio risked falls onto concrete, per 10 News. Smugglers push riskier routes as urban walls harden, per Stelnaker's March 22nd comments. 3 died in Otay Mesa's desert last week, per 10 News, a grim echo of Pew Research's 2024 note on rising border deaths. Ex-posts lament they're dying for nothing, while others shrug they chose this. Families suffer too. A Honduran mother, intercepted post-climb on February 5th, told Newsweek, "I had to try for my kids." Now detained, she faces deportation, per Reuters on March 23rd. The Guardian on March 25th reported reverse flows through Panama's Darien Gap as others give up. Yet some keep climbing, driven by poverty or violence, per Al Jazeera on March 22nd, even as the odds stack higher. The scenes spark fury and fascination. Trump's base cheers on X, build it faster. A post-Ipsos poll on March 20th showed 84% want tighter borders, backing the crackdown. Agents like Stelnaker see it working, telling 10 News, fewer try now. But critics call it overkill. The Guardian on March 25th dubbed it a militarized farce for a border already quiet. Democrats decry costs with troop deployments and wall sections bleeding funds, per Business Insider on March 23rd. Legal tangles loom. Courts paused some deportations on March 26th, per Reuters, and troop rolls skirt posse comitatus, per The Washington Post on March 20th. Environmentalists warn of wildlife harm, per NPR's 2020 critique, now amplified by Wire. Protests hit San Diego and Nogales in March, per Wikipedia, decrying a war zone vibe. Yet, Trump's Supreme Court edge might shield him, per Politico on March 23rd. Construction rolls on. The Spruance destroyer joined the Gravely on March 23rd, per Business Insider, sealing sea routes. Deportations could hit $300,000 in 2025, per The Washington Post on March 20th, if ICE gets its $175 billion, per Politico on March 23rd. The buffer zone could militarize more miles, per The Washington Post on March 19th. Migrants may keep climbing, but success odds shrink as walls rise and troops dig in. These shocking scenes, migrants bleeding on half-built walls, capture a border at its breaking point. Trump's vision's clear. No entry, no mercy. Yet, the human drive persists, even against spikes and steel. This clash of will and wall is just beginning, and America's watching, divided as ever.
Good ball.
Barrier replacement project west of Calexico, California.
$284 is the administrative funded program replacing all current barrier on the southern border.
This project consists of replacing the existing Normandy barrier on 15 miles of border. Like I said, it's west of Calexico, California.
Good ball.
They've been working on site, conditioning the soil, and then we dig our trench.
Oh yeah, that definitely feels like some lingerie.
Task Force Barrier is a USAID-led effort pulling resources from across the enterprise. In this effort, Task Force Barrier is working with Customs and Border Protection
Doing it, their production rate will go up, will continue to go up.
to ensure we get barrier put up along the southwest border efficiently and effectively.
Until they hit their goal of whatever they want to, try and do each day.
We ducking the wood.
I'm Sergeant Joe Adam Brewster. I'm from Vonore, Tennessee, a 12 Bravo combat engineer. Today I've been welding up pickets to place it for C-wire. That way we can help strengthen the border.
Shit all the time.
Oh my God. Okay.
Border here and help out Border Patrol as much as possible.
Alrighty.
That's like when Hunter asked him to grab the pickets.
I've never done that before, so that's one of the pretty cool things I've got to learn.
So what's going on?
And then I've never got to work with the border protection as well. I think it's awesome. Making some great connections down here. Pretty much the only thing that the guys I get to work with are definitely a plus side. I enlisted in the Army when I was 17 years old. I shipped off at 18. For me, just enlisting in the Army is something better than myself. Greater than myself. It makes everybody back home proud, and that's the big thing. Is I love making everybody proud. Proud and serving this great nation. The Army's done a lot of things for me. Definitely gave me the encouragement that I needed to see I'm better than what I can.
My rank is private first class. I have never been deployed before, so this mission is actually pretty cool to get out hands-on in the public and work well and hard and try to get some stuff done in order to strengthen the wall. I think our job is very important because the Border Patrol has such a hard job and they can't do it all themselves. So I think it's cool that we get to get out here and try to help them do their job a little more efficiently.
Right now you can still see a ladder up here on top of this wall, and you can see where the wire is completely cut through, and that's where they are sent over using a rope. And hey, ¿tienes más migrantes aquí? ¿Todo? Okay, he says he's done sending migrants. And then when they reach the ground, they instantly start running. They run off into the brush.
Hole in the ground, Ed.
Welcome to THP Discover.
Sometimes they're just stuck in the caliche in the mud. They make little shrines in the tunnels. They vary.
And it had a rail system running through it as well.
This is one of the most sophisticated tunnels ever discovered in the United States.
Just because the material used to build it.
Nearly all of them are dug by hand, by day laborers.
This is one of the most sophisticated
into it. But when diggers survive, they often thank the tunnel god.
The materials used to construct it and the challenging terrain it had to pass through make it truly remarkable.
This is one of those robots view inside a drainage pipe used to smuggle drugs.
This tunnel in particular had a wood pallet floor the whole way of the tunnel.
Used to smuggle drugs.
A wood pallet floor.
A former drug smuggling tunnel between the U.S. and Mexico. But because of the tools and debris so often left in these tunnels, one of the ways that tens of billions of dollars of drugs often snag and get stuck.
What sets this tunnel apart is its advanced design. It featured a full wooden pallet floor, providing stability throughout its length.
Feels syrupy.
The cartel and the audacity that they have.
Ventilation and wooden beams.
Detecting them is nearly impossible.
Even more surprising, a rail system was installed inside, allowing for the efficient transportation of people or goods.
A trap door operated hydraulically from 1,000 feet away in Mexico. It's perfectly camouflaged with the garage floor, so they have to pump it in.
The journey through the seemingly endless tunnel is a long and daunting one for special agents, not knowing what or who they might encounter, as CBP says it was a route used by transnational criminal organizations. But not anymore.
And the cockroaches are pretty big.
Well, the cockroaches too.
But it only has to be.
And it has apparently been operational for over a year.
Sniffing out the tunnels,
which included Venezuelan women who were victims of sex trafficking.
No one knows how many tunnel diggers have died down here. Once inside, the air is in short supply.
The tunnel, the length of 6.
But underground, there's a threat that remains in the dark.
Passes for entertainment.
Tunnel porn?
Finally, we reach the end of the tunnel.
Statistics exclusively obtained from DHS sources, self-surrendering, but rather they become gotaways.
Comfortable enough to do one thing.
Authorities are calling it one of the most complex smuggling tunnels ever found, proving just how far smugglers are willing to go to bypass border security.
And are nearly an hour inside the tunnel.
Football fields and 6 stories below ground has rail. Law enforcement seized more than 1,700 pounds of cocaine, as the U.S. attorney said.
To help investigate.
Allowing traffickers to simply dig new entry points.
Tunnels have been a major concern for the U.S. for some time. Skate, identify, and shut down these tunnels.
Beneath the U.S.-Mexico border, an underground war is being fought.
Tunnel Task Force.
Cartels have constructed an elaborate network of secret tunnels, designed to transport massive amounts of drugs and even high-profile criminals like El Chapo.
price tag that with just 2 shipments of drugs.
Agent Lance Lenore is one of the border tunnel rats. He's been inside more than... Concrete is what's typically used for remediation. Agents sealed a portion of the...
Effort goes in to working with this type of problems.
Not an under the river one like this one.
And after tunnels are discovered.
The cartels commissioned the work in Matamoros that started right through this opening.
We go in, we map it out with precision to the point.
But nothing would hold the river back, including the pump that had been installed in the tunnel.
There's some fear it could cave in.
You can see the plywood ceiling on here is all...
They would tunnel along the old tunnel, but...
Deep underground.
Walk right here.
You just walk gently through here.
Intelligence is the driving factor.
We see artifacts and what...
Those are cases that we investigate as well. We'll address that on a case by case.
200 cross-border tunnels used to smuggle, having tunnels built that would lead him out to freedom from the Mexican prisons he was being held in.
Dirt goes out and drugs.
And the cartels from their #1 market.
Drugs go in.
Time.
If you do a 4,000-pound load of marijuana and you...
On the side of the criminal organizations, those were not the only...
Right through there?
You could drive by it a million times and not...
Illicit drugs, humans, weapons, and money.
Odds.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of the tunnel...
The water started leaking in.
To the border to examine the realities of a wall.
Because it's caved in behind you and there's no way back out.
Exclusively to the location where last August the Mexican military found the tunnel below the Rio Grande River.
We're in hot pursuit of El Chapo, and we'd have to fend for ourselves.
Lots of sunshine right down to the beaches.
We've taken a trip past San Diego.
Notorious not only for his narrow escapes and prison breaks, but for the elaborate cross-border tunnels his cartel has engineered.
It went down into a manhole, and with generators and a ventilation system was probably 8 feet from the start of the tunnel to the bottom, so 8 feet high. However,
those engineers also use the massive and fetid drainage system between the two sides of the border.
So right here is the tunneling attempt.
You won't believe the shocking underground strategy.
While the construction of this tunnel under the Rio Grande is unusual,
smuggle drugs fast. He said he doesn't know. It was abandoned when they got there.
These tunnels, some stretching thousands of feet, represent one of the most sophisticated smuggling methods ever used.
And they can be highly sophisticated, like this one discovered last April.
To help investigate, identify, and shut down these tunnels.
Law enforcement seized more than 1,700 pounds of cocaine. As the U.S. attorney said, there's no more light at the end of this narco tunnel.
Only tunnels found. Since 1990, Customs and Border Protection has discovered nearly 2.
Several news outlets in Mexico have reported that the underground route was promoted by other migrants on TikTok as a safe and quick pathway to get into the U.S. The smuggling tunnel is 6 feet tall and 4 feet wide and was equipped with lights.
The agency is
U.S. and Mexican authorities have found and destroyed over 180 smuggling tunnels, with most concentrated in border cities like Nogales and Tijuana.
To add thousands of new agents.
What they know is that when they find a tunnel, they know they have an exit point, and there's only one way to find out its entry. So basically,
so does the uncertainty over how Mexico will deal with its side of the problem.
Pounds, each one of those things. They have to haul them all the way back through this.
Correct. They drag them all the way back.
But as enforcement here grows, offering cash for good leave.
These tunnels are built with extreme precision, running directly beneath the noses of Border Patrol agents.
The job of finding Customs and Border Protection tunnel team.
You guys
tasked with the sometimes.
So there are 3 tunnels within a space of a year in 15 feet.
Correct.
And they can be
Some are simple passageways, but others are engineering marvels, featuring wooden floors, concrete walls, lighting systems, and even underground rail tracks to move drugs quickly.
9 football fields. This tunnel, discovered the year before, outfitted with ventilation.
100 cross-border tunnels used to smuggle illicit drugs, humans, weapons, and money.
2,000-mile-long border with Mexico.
Despite law enforcement efforts, cartel tunnels remain a growing problem. Authorities admit that for every tunnel they find, there are likely several more still undiscovered.
20 feet behind.
The dreamers from the American dream.
Our convoy rolls up to a gated house.
On the side of the criminal organizations and the cartels from their #1 market, the United States. Prisons he was being held in. Those were not the only. The DEA office in the Rio Grande Valley took our cameras.
That's all for today. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.
The cartels commissioned the work in Matamoros that started right through this opening.
Earlier this year, by having his comrades brazenly into his prison cell. A tunnel even fitted out with a motorcycle on a rail. Busted out of
the battle against cartel tunnels is far from over. As authorities race to close them down, smugglers are already digging new ones, keeping this underground war alive.
And shut down these tunnels. Just a few miles south where the Rio Grande meets the Gulf of Mexico, it is wide open and not as easy to hide goods being moved. But here, CBP has cameras and they dedicate more manpower.